on the flip side, Crawford is sitting in a very highly unusual position of being 0-3. Um, as we mentioned, this week the Pirates face Axtell, so Crawford very well could get to 0-4. Consider so just how weird is this? Since 2010, Crawford has had 10 double-digit winning seasons. I mean, they were in the state semifinals just 2 years ago. I mean, we are used to seeing Crawford win at a high level. So, what do you guys think? Is this just a momentary pause in the success for the Pirates? Or have they kind of fallen back to that sort of level where they're having to scratch and fight just to get into the playoffs? It
I
might
mean,
be better to ask DJ this next week after she's seen him, but
yeah, probably. I mean, I don't know. From what I've heard from, first of all, they've played hard teams in their
oh yes,
non-district
yeah, they
season,
have
right? Anderson, Shiro, Hamilton,
Centerville.
Centerville, and they kept it close with Centerville.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, I don't know if the quality of their opponents can really tell you, you know, if Crawford is really that bad because they've played really tough teams and they've been in games with really tough teams.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what I do know is like they're gonna go up against an Axel team that is experienced and they're fast. The only, obviously they're not as big as Crawford. Coach Horn has said this before since before the season started. A lot of teams are gonna beat them out on size. Um, so, I mean, we'll see. I just think that perhaps, it's just one of those years where you're kind of rebuilding and teaching some new kids the system and the program that has been successful for you before. And you're also playing, a schedule that has teams that are also really successful now. Once they get into district, I feel like they'll be fine. I don't know. Obviously, Marlin is really good, so they're the team to beat in that group. But I think they've got a chance to, beat some of the other teams in that district right now and maybe come up with like a second place finish as opposed to last year when they just squeaked by. So, yeah.
Chad?
it's we don't get injury like the Big 12 teams are doing injury reports now, right? Is that like a new rule or something?
I think that's the SEC, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, Texas Tech is following along with that system, I
Mm.
guess. Maybe Texas Tech is on the low key trying to join the SEC too or something. But anyway, I've noticed that because I follow them. But so some of these schools you'd like to see an injury report, especially as we're picking all these games every week.
Sure.
But it the question is, are they making progress and are they building, or are they having to plug a hole in the dam every week? Um, if they are making progress, the next 3 weeks are like big time challenge slash opportunities for them because they've got Axtell and Holland and then Marlin, with Marlin being the district opener. Um, so especially that Marlin game. Can you build toward that? And can you go to battle and have a true kind of battle for a district title like Marlin like we would have expected maybe when the district came out back in the spring. I don't want to guess too much on Crawford. I haven't covered him enough recently. I haven't talked to Coach Jacobs this season, which is really weird. I usually talk to him 2 or 3 times by now, but I don't know. I mean, like you said, Brice, their tradition goes back so far. Their tradition goes back, to when I was in high school, and they had, a kid or two or a kid that went to Texas, and played kind of a special teams role at Texas, and some really great individual players back then. And of course, the team concept at Crawford is always strong and steady. And I mean, even you go back to the mid '90s, and they haven't had very, very many drop offs. They've been pretty consistently good.
Which is why I do think this is even if it is a momentary pause, like I tend to agree with you guys that I think they still have a chance to turn it around this year. I agree with DJ that they so there were years where Crawford buzzed through the regular season at 10-0, and you could go back and look at their non-district schedule and knock them a little bit for it, where they didn't really play that many super tough teams. I commend Coach Jacobs and the Pirates for playing the likes of Centerville and Anderson Shiro and those teams and they were in those games. So I think that I think they're going to be okay. I certainly think they'll be in the playoffs. I'm not worried about them like beating Moody and the schools at the bottom of that district. Um,
Rosebud Lot's looking like a tough game though to finish
yeah,
the
sure,
season.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rosebud Lot Bosqueville low key is a very interesting game this week.
Uh-huh.
Just back to Crawford for a sec. So I have such respect for like their athletic program as a whole. There may be no more consistent, like across the board athletic program in Central Texas. I mean, on any
Mm-hmm.
level. I mean, they win in every sport. And I just think they have a lot of kids who are bought in and understand the standard and work hard. And sure, it helps, when your talent level is up here some years, and maybe this year it's down here. But
I
uh,
think this year they're going to be this school year they're going to be the Caitlin Clark of Central Texas athletic programs.
uh,
Their girls teams are going to get more attention.
I got you. Okay. Well, their girls teams have been on a very high level for a while, but don't count Coach Jacobs and the Pirates out.